On today's episode of What's Going On with Shipping, the tanker Cordelia Moon encounters a drone in the Red Sea. I'm your host, Sal Mercogliano. Welcome to today's episode. So we haven't heard much from our friends, the Houthi in southern Yemen, but they are back. Last week, they attacked 3 American warships that were transiting northbound into the Red Sea. The Arleigh Burke-class destroyers USS Spruance, USS Stockdale, and the littoral combat ship Indianapolis. I believe they were heading north up into Saudi Arabia to refuel. Remember, last week we had the issue with the grounding of the oiler USNS Bighorn. Check out that video right here. Those ships were probably heading that way to refuel and also to be in a position to counter any attack on Israel by Iran. However, this week we have 2 new attacks being executed by the Houthi, both on commercial ships. And on one of the 2 vessels in question, I have exclusive information and videos of not just the attack, but the actual damage done to the ship. If you're new to the channel, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so be alerted about new videos as they come out. So on 1 October, we have the 2 attacks in question. I want to deal with the second attack first. This is the attack on the vessel, the Minoan Courage. This took place on 1 October at 04:15 UTC time. The Red Sea is 2 hours ahead of UTC, so this is early in the morning, 06:15. UKMTO has received a report of an incident 97 miles northwest of Al Hidayah in Yemen. So this is the very southern Red Sea region. Followed with an update, the masthead reported the vessel was attacked by a missile. The vessel has sustained damage. All crew are reported safe. The first attack was against the Cordelia Moon. This is an empty crude oil tanker sailing from India heading to Russia. And this is a vessel that's suspected to be one of the dark fleet vessels that's hauling Russian oil. This ship, before the UKMTO report you see here, had reported 2 disturbances in the area, and I have access to those 2 reports. The first one took place at 00:25 local time. The initial was a loud blast that was heard and felt on the ship. The ship's bridge teams and security teams responded to the area, but no suspicious boats or drones were sighted in the area. Then, about an hour later, at 01:25, a second loud noise was heard, causing a slight vibration in the vessel. Again, nothing was found or discovered. The ship maintained its comms and communications, and it proceeded on reporting the incident. Then you have the report here that is staged by the UKMTO. The report here is at 01:40 UTC, so that would be 03:40 local time. They have received a report of an incident 64 nautical miles northwest of Al Hudaydah, again, the southern Red Sea. Update number 1, the master reported 4 splashes sighted in close proximity to the vessel. All crew are safe. The vessel is proceeding to the next port of call. Update 2, at 0500 UTC, the master reports the vessel has been hit by an uncrewed surface vessel. Number 6 port ballast tank has been punctured. And then an update, the master reports the vessel is proceeding to the next port of call. Here is the images of that attack that I obtained. So the vessel is sailing northbound in the Red Sea. Again, it's an oil tanker in ballast, crude oil tanker. We'll go in specifics about the vessel in a minute. That is the uncrewed surface vessel, a USV. Very typical to what we've seen in previous attacks by the Houthi. They take these vessels out to sea. They get them up and running. The crew abandons the boat. They're picked up by another boat, and there's usually a chase boat somewhere in location close by that will monitor them. There is another commercial vessel that's in the distance here. You'll see it on the horizon. So it's an Indian crew on board. I apologize. I don't speak Hindi, so I can't translate. Maybe someone on the channel can do that for us. They also have a security detachment on board, at least a 3-person security detachment armed with FN fails, 7.62 millimeter. I'm going to play the whole video here as you see it. So here's the security team. Got to love them with the cell phone. Got to get the pictures all the time. 3 of them, there they are with their FN fails. Yeah, you don't want to drop your cell phone. It's going to be really hard to destroy this unless they get a really lucky shot that either disables the motor on the vessel or they detonate the explosives, which is not going to happen here. You see the imagery of smoke there in the entire area. I'm going to back this up here just a second to give you that. I mean, the entire bridge wing that you're looking at, the port side bridge wing, that's where those 3 security personnel were at on the ship, is thrown up a huge amount of smoke. It's thrown up water. It's thrown up oil, as you'll see in some follow-on video here. You'll see the entire bridge wing is coated in water and oil. That is coming from the tanks of the vessel. Just a massive explosion encountered on board. So here's the latest report by Lloyd's List on it. Houthi resumes shipping attacks amid concerns over Russian missile support. The looming prospect of supersonic Russian Houthis missiles being supplied to the Houthi are a real concern, according to security and naval sources. I see the opinion there, but I got to say that these small drone vessels are also pretty dangerous. The targeting of Cordelia Moon, a tanker that had been regularly trading as part of the dark fleet between Russia and India, appears to indicate the end to one of Houthis' longest lulls in attacks against shipping. I'm going to go on here. The vessel is registered to Panamanian company Amber Shipping Incorporated, but is managed by an Indian-registered company, Marigo Marine Solutions. Marigo are the registered managers of the tanker Andromeda Star, which was attacked by the Houthis in April after having been described as a British oil ship. So this is the second video. I'm going to mute this because there's not a lot of discussion on here. Those alarms are going off and they're quite loud. This is, again, looking at that bridge wing. This bridge wing was completely dry in the first video. What you're seeing here is water and oil thrown up from the vessel. You'll notice the bridge windows blasted out here from the damage caused by the explosion. It was a powerful piece of ordnance that hit the vessel. Definitely incurred some damage. Now, understand, a crude oil tanker is a very dangerous vessel. Sometimes a fully loaded oil tanker is less dangerous than an empty. And why is that? Crude oil, being in its liquid state, doesn't burn as easily. As a matter of fact, it's vapor that burns. And when you have an empty crude oil tanker, you have a lot of vapors inside. We use an inert gas system on board crude oil tankers to lower the oxygen levels to prevent combustion. However, once you penetrate the side of the ballast tank, you're letting air in, and that creates problems. You'll see oil up there on the deck and water being flown off. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing in this scenario here. That water is being flown off. I think that what they're doing is dousing down the side of the vessel to break up the vapors. Those seem to be fire lines rigged from the manifolds off to the side of the vessel to try to provide a mist so that hopefully dangerous vapors are not getting to an explosive level. This is the third and final video that was provided to me. This is a little bit later on. The alarms are off at this point. You can see the oil that is blown up onto the vessel, onto the deck here. And again, you have that water spraying off the side. You can see a bit of a slick in the water alongside the vessel as it goes. You can definitely see that slick a little bit on the side. You got a little bit of smoke coming on the vessel here. And then they've got those hoses spraying off the side. Those aren't pumps. They're not pumping out the tank. with that. They would be using the stripping pumps and the ballast pumps and the cargo pumps inside the ship. To see how much that water just blew up on top of the vessel like that. It's crazy to have that amount up there. It gives you an idea of the size of the plume of explosion you had up there.
6 foot water blast tank full हो गया, पूरा पानी निकल गया. What's number 6 में? हाँ. This so है.
So this part I kind of know they're talking about the number 6 hold or tank on the vessel. That's this number 6 port side tank that was ruptured. Want to head over to the Joint Maritime Information Center. Their weekly dashboard just got released, which gives us a good update on what is happening out in the region. So looking at number of incidents, we're at 100 incidents so far, 4 mariners killed, 2 severely. You'll see the summary of incidences down there. 6 attacks of serious, 39 minor attacks, 42 attempted, 4 hijacks, and 9 suspicious activities. In the meantime, the motor tanker Soyunion is still undergoing salvage. This vessel was the one that was attacked on 21 August, was the subject of a series of attacks by the Houthi, including 2 boardings and setting of explosives on board. I'll have links above there to the videos on it. The ship is currently at anchor with support vessels on scene. Final preparations for firefighting and the inert gas expected to be completed soon. They want to pump inert gas into the tanks that will snuff out the fires. And then following the firefighting operations, they're going to be doing a ship-to-ship transfer to get the fuel off the vessel. The latest update has the firefighting operation commenced on Monday, 23 September, by a team of international experts on site. The operation has proceeded with promising results as some fires are extinguished and others are under control. We have the complete list of incidents that's provided all the way from Galaxy Leader on November 19th, 2023. That crew is still being held hostage by the Houthi up to the attack number 100 on Diligent Warrior. Obviously, we're past that with the attack on Manon Courage and Cordelia Moon. Here's the overview of the incidents, where they take place, almost exclusively in that southern Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandab, and the western part of the Gulf of Aden. Here are the incidents involving merchant vessels. It's about an even split between bulk carriers, tankers, and containers. And then when you look at what ships are being attacked, 29% of them can basically be linked back to Israel. So about 3 out of every 10 ships are linked to Israel. The other 7 are not. 12% to the U.S., 8% to the United Kingdom, 37% have no direct association, and 14 of them are using outdated information. And then the incidents by type, missile attacks, UAV, small craft, USV, those are uncrewed surface vessels, and then the hijacking. Here's the trend of incidents involving, again, we've been kind of in a lull. September had gotten very quiet all of a sudden, and now we have a bit of an uptick. It seems to come in cycles with the Houthi, and we're in one of those upticks right now. Let's hop over to marine traffic, find our latest information on this. So Cordelia Moon, Panamanian flag vessel, crude oil tanker built in 2006, 163,288 tons. Ship's overall length, 274 meters, a width of 50 meters. This ship has been operating between Russia and India, and you can see that here with the port call list. Talked a little bit about ownership earlier. Ship's beneficial owner is Amber Shipping, goes all the way down here through Amber Shipping, with the technical manager being Margo Marine Solutions. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I was really happy to get that video, and most importantly, not because it provides a great video. That's not what I'm trying to do. I really want to highlight the mariners on board. The Houthis say that they're doing this to deter the Israelis. Well, all they're doing is terrorizing the Indian mariners that are on that vessel. This is a ship that's Panamanian registered, that is carrying crude oil between Russia and India. You're not impacting anything at all in Israel. All you're doing is terrorizing the innocent crew members who are on board, who are trying to make a living for themselves. And these mariners, many of them don't have options what ships they go on. They have to take the jobs that are available to them. And what the Houthi are doing are, again, terrorizing the seas. And we, as a world, not just the United States, the world, are surrendering this piece of water to the Houthi, even though it's acknowledged to be a open water, freedom of the seas, innocent passage. The Yemen signed UNCLOS, the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea, yet they are violating in that. And I know people are going to jump back and sit there and say, well, the Genocide Convention, this is not preventing genocide. It's doing nothing to prevent genocide. What you're doing is attacking and terrorizing and in some cases killing innocent mariners. And killing one group of innocent people because of the death of other innocent people makes no friggin' sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. And I wanted to highlight this attack because this is one of the few attacks where we have some great information and images to show you what's going on board these vessels. A lot of criticism you can have about this. The security detachment was not doing great work. That is not a great security detachment. They lack the requisite weapons to blow that boat out of the water. I would have preferred having a Ma Deuce, an M2 50 caliber machine gun. I would have preferred rocket launchers. I prefer a whole batch of things. If I'm on that boat, I want a lot more to defend me. Be really nice to have some navies around there, some other security around there, but there's not. And just because we have basically surrendered the Red Sea over to the Houthi and ships are taking the long way around Africa now. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hey, take a moment, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos as they come out. Leave a comment, share it across social media, and if you can, support the page. How do you do that? Well, that's easy. You hit that super thanks button down below or head on over to Patreon and become a monthly or yearly subscriber. Be sure to tune in. We're tracking the entire issue with the port strike that's going on in the United States on the Gulf and East Coast, bringing you the information as we get it, basically daily updates right now because of what is transpiring. But stay tuned for our next episode. This is Sal, signing off.